What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And my name is Chris183. Steve, it's a special day.
It is. Chris, do you have a beverage?
I have a cup of hot coffee.
Good. You need to have a beverage because I'm over here. I'm sipping on some Haterade because this is something new. This is Awful April. We're going to spew some Haterade. We're going to drink some Haterade. Awful April is a brand new month. This is a way for us to showcase albums that we think sucked. We did not like them. They were awful. And what we're going to do is we're going to listen to these albums, force ourselves to listen to them, and decide, do we still think that they're awful, or could they possibly have grown on us? What do you think about this concept here?
I like it. I like it a lot. I've been wanting to do this for a while. So the fact that we're actually going to do it is exciting. Now, just to pull back the curtain for this, it's going to be fairly interesting because this first time around, Steve and I flipped the coin on who was going to pick the album. So these albums for this mini series that we're going to be going through, these are Steve's. These are the ones that Steve hates the worst. Not so much me, actually. It's funny, like even especially for this first one that we're going to talk about. I'm not necessarily sure I ever listened to it. So that said, I may have some differing opinions, but all in all, I think we're going to have a blast with this one.
Spoiler alert. It's awful. It's awful. Everything in April, except for, the content of our episodes. But the music we're talking about is pretty much awful. And yes, I picked this one to start off. This is Panic at the Disco's second album. It's called Pretty Odd, pretty period, odd period. It came out in 2008. And man, it was their sophomore record, and their debut was so freaking good. And that made me think this one was so freaking bad. But just to get a little stats on it here, March 25th, 2008, the album came out on Fueled by Ramen / Decadence Records, produced by Rob Mathis, who did Fall Out Boy's Save Rock and Roll, did Weezer's OK Human, and he did 2 other Panic records, so good producer. People call it the psychedelic-styled rock, if you can call it that. It was got up to number 2 on the Billboard 200, probably because of all the success of the previous record. It had a double platinum single in 9 in the Afternoon. The album was certified platinum and sold over 400,000 copies. So that's a little bit of background on Pretty Odd. You said you'd never listened to it back in the day?
Not the whole album, no. The singles, yes. The album, no. I cannot remember what we said about Panic at the Disco's first album. I know we reviewed it. Actually, I think we did a whole band episode and an album episode, didn't we? No, we didn't do that. Okay, so just covered the one album, and chances are we ranked that album against the other ones. I feel like I didn't participate because I didn't have a frame of reference. If I did, then I don't know where I got that from. Maybe I listened to them then, but no, I didn't really get through this one too much. So a couple songs.
I think you liked the first Panic record, if I remember.
I did.
I don't, because it was a long time ago. But
here's what I'll tell you. I didn't think I was going to really like it because I had bad memories of what I thought Panic at the Disco sounded like. And when we did that exercise, I went back on that, and I ended up really, really enjoying that album a lot based on, the majority of songs. There were some songs that were like kind of but for the most part, it was a hit.
Totally agree. And I think, so I bought this record when it first came out because I was excited for the next Panic at the Disco record. And it's funny, when they released this one, this is the only record that didn't have the exclamation point. They dropped the exclamation point temporarily and then brought it back. That is a fact that doesn't matter. But the first Panic at the Disco album was amazing. A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. And it was so unique. It was great music, cool lyrics, and they had this really cool, like, dual theme of techno punk and my favorite word when I talk about Panic at the Disco, this vaudevillian sounding punk to it. It was such a cool style. And then this came out, and it's called Pretty Odd. So, okay, if these guys are a little odd, I could give them that it might be different, but this album was just blah. Like, nothing stood out. Maybe one song. They gave us so little of what I loved from the first record that I was just so underwhelmed. And I think after maybe a listen or two, I haven't listened to it in, it's almost 20 years. What's that? 15 years?
I don't know. Am I supposed to, how am I supposed to know?
2008. So 2024 minus 2008, that's 16 years
Did you get it the day it came out at National
for
Record
math.
Mart?
Probably at Best Buy. I probably did get it the day it came out at Best Buy.
Best Buy?
Yes.
Hmm.
I might have still worked at Best Buy at that point in time. Possibly.
The wall of CDs where there was the new releases. I actually might get this one on CD. I've been wanting to expand my collection recently, but okay. So yeah, I can't draw from that. I can tell you this though. You think about bands that come back with a second album that's different from the first. I think a good one would be probably, you said it, Weezer. Pinkerton was strung up because it was just really not an album people had a lot of good things to say about at first because it was so different from the Blue album. It was very artistic, very different, very weird in a lot of ways, very un-Weezer esque based on the comparisons to what they came out with first, which was, super poppy alt hits that everybody could sing along to. Now you have dark brooding, emo, stuff like that. I don't know if I agree with you totally here. I know this is awful April, but a lot of things to say about some of these songs, and I don't think it's a bad idea or a bad call to come back with more creativity, with different sounds, and still keep the basis of who you are in terms of that vaudevillian or however you want to put it sound that's sprinkled throughout the album. So I think, for me, you still get that piece, but there's so much more that they added to this album that was off the wall and weird that, in my opinion, made it kind of interesting. So I'm turning on you right away in this exercise, but I think we can kind of talk about why. And I'll also say that it's not necessarily consistent through all the songs. So there's some pretty bad ones here too. I'll agree with you on that.
Awful. Awful.
Yeah, pretty awful.
Well, why don't we get into it? I'm curious to see what you have to say because usually, well, very recently, some of the albums that we've talked about, you were more negative on than I was. And so we'll see if I'm the negative one in this episode. But I did nominate this as an awful album. So I'll own it. I believe that to be true.
You should. And I want to hear it too, because like you said, you're normally not negative about it. So the fact that this turned you off so much, I'm dying to know that. Like, why? Because you're generally very apologetic about the bands that you like, no matter what nonsense they put out, like Newfound Glory. Like, you still get behind these bands. So for you to turn on a band like this, I gotta know why. I gotta know.
Well, we'll have to go through it track by track. I gave my overall opinion of the record, and I don't know. Maybe listen. There's a chance that I'm keeping something in my pocket for the end of the episode. Could I have come around on this album? I don't know. We'll have to find out as we go.
We'll have to find out. Yeah. So We're So Strong is not not the title of the first track. It's We're So Starving. And I don't really know what that means. Maybe we're starving for a new Panic at the Disco album. It had been 3 years since the initial album had come out. That's a fairly long time.
Maybe they're
right?
starving
3
for
years.
attention.
Maybe, or they're starving to get their new stuff out to us, right? They want to. Maybe it's a mixture of all that stuff, but ultimately this is just an intro track where they virtually apologize to us for being gone for so long and explain to us that the reason why is because they were making all this music for us and they wanted to take their time to do that. So, okay, great. Like, that's fine. This isn't really a song. And the music behind it, even though for a lot of intros, it's kind of irrelevant. Like, it kind of just gets you like in the mood to really listen to more. I thought it was a pretty pleasant melody behind that apology that he wrote to us and to you, Steve, for being away for so long. So I mean, this is fine.
Yeah, three years not that long to be away, but I think it's kind of telling that they have to preempt the entire album with a track cautioning the audience that we don't have to worry. We're still the same band. Did they listen to this record and be like, "Oh man, people are going to think that we suck and this album's awful. Why don't we just put in a track here that says, don't worry, we're still the same band." The music in this is not horrible or anything. I feel like maybe it's just a little pandering kind of thing. Not
It's them.
100% necessary, but
Yeah.
it's fine. I'm not going to roast it too much.
It's their sound. And 3 years isn't a long time. What if you lent me $20 and I paid you 3 years from now? How would you feel?
I mean, for an artist to make a new record, that's not that much time.
So I can pay you back in 3 years?
I mean, I think you owe me some money, and we're going on 2 or 3 years. So we'll see what happens.
It hasn't been. No, don't even get that out there to people. People are going to think I don't pay for things. That's not true, everybody. I pay.
He pays.
There's certain times where I pay right away.
The time when he pays is at 9 p.m.
It is 9 p.m. What a song, right? I like this song from the get-go. When it first came out through today, this is always a Panic! In the Disco song that I will not turn off when it comes on. There's something about this melody that's infectious and it hooks me. I think this song is great. I think it's whimsical, melodic. The sound is fun. It puts me in the feels. Feels like a warm spring, early evening, afternoon-ish. I don't know why. It just has that feel to it. Like 9 p.m.'s nonsense, but I feel like I'm in that dusk time frame where it's still kind of light and it's warm outside and you feel good and you have this music kind of in the background of your head. The horns in this, usually I'm not into a ton of horns in songs. Like it has to be specifically a certain mixture and a certain type. And this song hits that certain type. I think that they do just enough to make that horn melody work in harmony with everything else that's going on with this melody. So the fact that the horns are fairly prevalent throughout is not a detractor in my book here in this song. And maybe that's because the melody's so great. I think, that's reflective of the fact that this was probably one of the most popular songs off this album, if not the most popular, right? I think that we've already determined that with the fact that the song went, say it went gold, platinum.
The song went double platinum.
Double platinum.
I don't know what that means, but it was popular.
How can a song go double platinum though?
I think it's on radio plays or singles or something like that. It could have been on streams by 2008.
People weren't still buying singles in 2008, were they?
Maybe not.
Yeah, I didn't think
Probably
so.
not.
But I'd love to know what that means, and I'm sure somebody out there will know that. But for the purposes of this conversation, we'll move on. And yes, out there, I'm not going to call you by name because you know who you are. This song does have clapping, and I know I'm gushing about it.
You hate,
but this clapping is actually applause. It's pre-applause, and it's applause. So this clapping is different. I will say it one more time. This clapping is different, and it works.
I think we're going to hear some call outs on the Discord server about
Go
that
for
one.
it, because if you're going to call me out, you're wrong. It's applause, right? It's applause. And to cap it all off, that violin outro, I love that. It's so classic Panic! At the Disco. It sounds great, and it's a perfect bow on a perfect song. So I love this one, Steve. What did you think?
Yeah, this is really the only really good song on this album, and it is a really good song. This song fits perfectly with the Panic! At the Disco from A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. The concept of 9 p.m. is just a super clever thing because obviously there is no 9 p.m. I think that it's really funny to say, well, it's 9 p.m. It's got a cool backing guitar line. The chorus is super strong. You mentioned it's got a trumpet. There are these oohs. They're singing in the background, violins, strings. It's got a lot to it. There's a clap along part, which is definitely a clap, not instruments. There's also applause. But this fits a Panic! At the Disco single that I'm into. And this one has staying power. It's still good. I wouldn't turn it off. And again, this is the only really good song on this album. So I liked it a lot, and I still do.
Go on.
Go on. She's a handsome woman is the third track. So I don't know. This one's not terrible, but it's not great. It kind of seems like it's trying to be this like 70s rock song with the way the guitar sounds and the intro. I don't know where this one comes. Doesn't fit any of these other themes that they've had, any of the other themes coming up on the album. The chorus is all right. It does not have a ton of emotion or conviction. I have no idea what the song is trying to say, which is okay. Like I don't need to read super deep into Panic at the Disco, but this one didn't do all that much for me.
Yeah, I don't hear 70s rock here. I think that they do delve into that a little bit with a couple of the songs on this album for sure. I don't necessarily hear it here. I do hear something very, very different though. This is one of those super creative tracks that I was alluding to before. I really like that go on. It's kind of like the chorus, right? It may not be the chorus, it may be the bridge of the chorus or just a
I
precursor
think that's the
to, but
chorus.
uh, so yeah, maybe it is, and that's pretty awesome to me. Like the fact that they're able to make that work, very haunting, very repetitive, but I think it's memorable. You think about songs and what you remember about them. I don't think I've heard a song that has done something like this before, that has arranged the chorus with something like that, and so I was drawn into that. The lyrics, I mean, they're random, super random lyrics. I don't even know if a lot of the lyrics on this album mean anything. Um, I don't think that I don't remember all the lyrics from A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, but I think that it's it was probably a lot of similar themes in terms of the lyrics not necessarily making much sense. But I don't care. Like I think that the nonsense lyrics play a part into the full body of work. It kind of gets you immersed into the song more, in my opinion, here. So I'm all about it. And I love the creativity in this track. I'll say it again. It was abound here. It was the musical arrangement is super eclectic in this song. It's not straightforward. It's definitely not like your run of the mill, Beatles esque song. And there's a lot of people that draw comparisons to Beatles music and this album in a lot of ways. I'm not going to do that because I don't listen to a lot of Beatles. I can't draw that comparison, even though listening to it, it kind of feels like it sounds like a Beatles album maybe would sound like in a lot of ways. Maybe one of the more experimental Beatles albums, but again, I'll leave it up to you guys that are more experts on that. For me, I love the creativity. So the music very eclectic,
But would you put it on a
and
playlist and like listen to it for pleasure?
this track, yes, I would.
Wow. Okay.
This track, I would. And all honestly, like I think this is super catchy too. I think this is a super catchy song that that would fit into that playlist categorization. So I was all about this handsome woman that you speak of.
She is a handsome woman.
Did you ever use that? Did you ever say a woman was handsome? Do
I
people
feel
say
like I've
that?
heard that in a movie or something.
Heard it in Family Guy, but that's the only time.
Maybe that's what it was.
Mhm. More people should say that.
Well, I don't know what you're seeing.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna do this the whole time. That's fine. We can do that. I just got to get up on my game on my segues, but good one. I'll give that one to you. What am I seeing on this one? Seeing another super catchy song. Actually, this one's great, guys. I once again love the weird vibe in this song. It's very, very floaty and surreal. The sound just kind of floats. Once again, very, very light and whimsical. So you got that murky, surrealish sound to it, but at the same time, it's still light, whimsical, and has a lot of that harmonica stuff that just melds perfectly into the melody. Again, I don't love harmonica stuff on the regular, but for some reason it worked in this track. I can say that this track is very showy, kind of like a show tune type of showy. But I'm all for that here. I think that even though it could be a show tune, and I don't hate show tunes, there's good ones out there. I feel like this one is one of the better ones. If this was a musical, I would love this. I would enjoy this particular track. So I was really into this one, Steve. What did you think?
I just cannot believe that we're listening to the same track, and you would say that you are really into this one. This sounds like a kid song. This is like nursery rhymes at the disco. We're talking about clouds marching along. It's got all this like lazy rhyming. Wouldn't you do if you do if you do if they just knew? And I mean, it's just a bunch of nonsense. He's talking about the fucking weather. There's like actual duck noises in the background at parts of this song.
Right.
This song is just dumb. It's just, I feel like you're playing this and you're going opposite just because you know I don't like it, that you want to like it. Like, I don't think that you'd really like this song.
Incorrect.
I don't get it.
I've been telling you these past 4 years that when a song hits me a certain way, it just hits me a certain way. And this is one of those ones that does that.
Song that doesn't give a damn about the weather, and the weather never gave a damn about you.
Why is it so
That's
important?
the one you're just jamming out.
Why is that so important, though? Why? Who cares? Like, you've liked bands with nonsensical lyrics before. You've liked songs with nonsensical lyrics, I should say, not bands. Why all of a sudden is that a bad thing?
I don't know. Maybe they just stand out. The music, I wanted something else from Panic at the Disco. I did not want this from. I'll take the newer super pop Panic at the Disco over this bouncing kids nursery rhyme thing.
I mean, it's like there's not even a song like this that's out there.
There's a reason for that.
No, there's not. These bands have the ability to get creative with the way that they make their music. You know, Brandon Urie has had that itch to just do something super weird, and this was his ability to do. This was his opportunity to do that and still be able to get away with it because they were coming off of that first album, and he was given probably a lot of leeway on the things he wanted to do. I guarantee that's the case.
Yeah, Ryan Ross actually wrote a lot of this album. Not just it wasn't Brandon Urie, so it was maybe the two of them were holed up in a psychedelic trip haze for a few months, and that's where this came from.
You're right, and I did hear that. So good call out. I think Brandon Urie, though, the performing, the performer in him, like, probably was attracted right away to what these songs bring. You cannot deny that these are, again, just like the first album. There's a lot of songs that could be considered show tunes in a lot of ways. Like, couldn't you see this one on stage?
Yeah, like a Peppa Pig the musical.
Mm-hmm. Not necessarily.
That's right.
Not necessarily.
Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig.
It's fine.
Oh,
That's fine.
I don't give a damn about the weather. It never gave a damn about me. Ha ha ha! Muddy puddles.
Is that supposed to be a British accent?
No, that was like a bad Peppa accent. I guess it was somewhat British, but I guess I don't know what you're seeing, but you see what you see. I see what I see. That's fine.
You know what? I can still consider you a gentleman.
Thank you.
You're still a gentleman to me.
The jolly green gentleman.
Sure.
I guess we don't know that he's jolly. The Green Gentleman. Things have changed. So I like that the album title is in there. I think I read that the album had already been named, and then they put this in there. So, things are shaping up to be pretty odd. I think in this song, it has some sing-song ability. The pre-chorus and the chorus are pretty good. I like the harmonies at the end of the song. I think that this is a decent song on this album. This was a single. It was the third single on the album, although I never heard it on the radio. I never saw a video, so it must not have been that popular a single. This one was okay. It it's not making my playlist, though.
This is definitely making my playlist, and there was a video.
There was, okay.
Yep. There was a video. Look, I mean, I think once again, this one comes in with a very, very unique tune that I instantly got into. And I think it even made it better when you got to that riff. So basically you come in with that shallower tune, but then it kind of layered in with that. It was an acoustic riff. There was an electric riff too after that. That kind of was the backing. But I liked that transition a lot when that kicked in. This song has tempo changes that I think add to just the overall richness of what you're listening to. I really enjoyed too how towards like the middle-ish of the song, the way that the lines are lyrically delivered, that he delivers a line, and then the answer to that line is kind of like an instrumental prelude or an instrumental piece. So the answer is just a bunch of instruments, and it was a really cool arrangement to be able to do something like that. And then he finishes it off with a round with himself, right? It's him singing over himself. That obviously sounds amazing. This is a great track, and again, following up that last track, well, the one I really liked, I think it's another solid one for sure.
This album is this might be one of your favorites. Man, you might like this one better than Fueled by March and all those things put together.
I had a lot of fun with this one. It has its ups and downs though. Like you'll see here, kind of getting into this section. So I do have friends in holy spaces, I guess.
I have friends in low places.
That's similar, but it's different. You're thinking of Chris Gaines, not Brandon Urie.
I see. Okay.
You have no comment there. You probably don't even know who Chris Gaines is.
Is that the guy who sings I Have Friends in Low Places?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just know that song.
Mm-hmm.
Country song. I thought it was like Garth Brooks or something.
It is. So
it is. Okay.
Yeah. He had a persona by the name of Chris Gaines.
Oh, that was way above my head.
Mm-hmm. It was a rock persona.
Did he fight in the WWE or something?
Not The Rock.
Oh.
A rock and roll. Like rock.
Right. Did Garth Brooks fight and have a separate persona?
Did he fight himself?
No, somebody else.
No.
Maybe The Rock.
No, Garth Brooks did not fight anybody. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know.
That would be pretty odd.
I'm sure that he's gotten angry at people. He's a human being after all. But yes, so this song is, I don't really know how to frame this up other than it's kind of like a 1920s radio hit that we're listening to. Like it feels like you're listening to it off of a 1920s radio. It's like ragtime or something like that. It's not big band. I think it's more ragtime, right? Maybe my terminology's off. That's just the first thing that came to my mind. But a ragtime with Brandon Urie is a marriage that really, really works. His voice works over this sound. Like Steve said earlier in the show, that vaudevillian sound. It's right up this alley, right? So even though this is a weird one, and them just trying to go all the way with that, with the distortion, the radio crackling over the track. I think it's a great tune. I really enjoy this one. I don't know if this is something I put on a playlist because it doesn't really fit there, but I'd listen to it on my own time. The only thing weird about it is that ending. It felt misplaced, but then if you listen to it, it really isn't. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But Steve, what did you think about this shorter song?
I mean, if this is a hit, it's not the 1920s, maybe like the 1720s, like before actual instruments were popularized and radio was invented. I mean, this is just ukulele, trumpet, like nonsense. I guess, yeah, they're trying to call back with that ragtime vaudevillian thing, call back to the last album. But dude, you are a popular band with hits. Why are you putting this on a record? This does not belong on a record. This is like something stupid that you do in between songs live to like make people in the audience laugh. This is not a track that should be on a fucking record label, like out to the public. And why is this even a whole song? Even if it's like a minute and a half, it shouldn't even be a whole song. It should be like a tiny little thing. It should be like a paragraph, a verse in some other song that takes the tempo and the beat to a bigger level. And yeah, for some reason it ends. I feel like it ends kind of with the beginning of the next song. I feel like they somehow they took some beginning of Northern Downpour, but they just stuck it at the end of this one as if that made any sense,
Mhm.
which it does not. Because I think in the background they're saying hey moon," or something like that, right?
Mhm.
At the end
Mhm.
of this.
Yeah.
And then that's obviously the concept of this next one, which apparently also was a single. Um, yeah, just a strange ballad. I think if they took out all of the like hey moon shit, like I don't know, I think maybe it could have been okay. Um, the lyrics are somewhat interesting, but all the hey moon stuff makes it sound like a kid's book. Like, and it seems like they're using kind of the same guitar riffs over and over. I don't know. I heard some real callbacks to, I guess, 9 in the Afternoon at some of the guitar riffs. I can't exactly pinpoint it. Um, the whole second half of the song is just totally boring and totally repetitive. Sugarcane, is me morning, weather vanes and sugarcane. It's just, I don't know. I think about like the cloud in Super Mario Brothers and like what that cloud might listen to if it listened to music. And maybe it's this, but I don't think you'd really catch me listening to this one.
You would catch me outside listening to this one. I
Oh
would.
God.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
What? I thought this was a great ballad. That it was really easy to listen to. You talk about, kid songs. Like, have you forgotten about how powerful nostalgia is? Like, you think about, people use music to reflect on life and the music that is they're listening to. If they're drawing references to times throughout life, even as a younger version of themselves, there's a lot of power to that. So I'm not saying that that's what this is doing. To me, it doesn't sound like a kid's song. Hey moon, don't you go down. I just think it's just a clever thing in the background that kind of goes with the theme of the song itself. It's a weird ballad that is very raw, very acoustic, very emotional, great melody. Love that piano backing. I'm a sucker for this one. Like this one again puts me in the feels. So it just has that thing about it. Maybe it's just a melody. Maybe they just wrote a good melody here, and I could just get into that. I don't know. I just think this song's amazing, and I would listen to this one on repeat for sure. I really enjoy this one.
Oh my God. That's what like an insane asylum is listening to this song on repeat over and
Mhm.
over and over with padded walls.
Mm, maybe not. Maybe not. Well, we talked about northern downpour, and I'm actually from the north, so and it has been raining. So I can definitely relate to that. But
Do you tell people you're from the north?
well, I mean northeast area.
North implies like like Winterfell.
Yeah, I mean that okay. I mean unless people
Winter's coming.
consider Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh Midwest, I don't know. But I consider myself northeast. Anyway, I don't care. I'm just in a state, in a city that eventually is going to have some great shows coming to it. And we'll talk about that another time. But when the day met the night, yes, the day does meet the night. It is daylight savings behind us, right? And I usually like summer songs. I usually like the feel of them. Well, that makes me feel good because I'm a big summer individual. But I didn't really think this track was so good. It just has too much of something. I don't know what that something is. I said earlier how I like the horns in the one track, how it really made that song feel just better than what it probably would have been without them. For some reason, the horns here, I think, kind of detract from the melody. And I guess that's probably one of the reasons why I just didn't get into this one. But it doesn't have a very strong chorus. I didn't really love the melody itself. I don't think it was one that was meant to be sing-songy in any way, shape, or form. And I just didn't really get into the structure of this one. So despite the fact that it's a summer song, he talks about that stuff, Just wasn't enough for me. So definitely not one of the best ones.
Nope, not one of the best ones. It's more of this moon and sun bullshit. Like, are there any other themes? There's been like we're at track 8. There's been like 4 songs that are just about the moon and the sun, and I don't know. It's got this kind of trippy like Middle Eastern guitar kind of beginning. The thing is, it starts kind of dark, and it builds and builds over the first couple verses, and then we get to the chorus, and it's just this super pop, happy delivery with the piano that doesn't fit in the middle of summer. Like the bonks of the piano, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't work that well. It's another song, honestly, that I think could be, Rafi at the Disco or on a Panic at the Disco kids album. Doesn't sound like pop punk. Doesn't sound like a grown up band wrote it. It's also way longer than necessary at 4 minutes and 55 seconds. So not one that I'm going back to by any means.
Okay, good. See, we agree. How about that?
Only took 8 songs. Wow.
Yeah, 8 songs. Now, can you pass me the shovel?
Paz de Cheval. How long do you think about that one for?
Couple seconds.
Nice. Yeah, Paz de Cheval. I didn't even look what that means, but to me this sounds like a Western themed song. There's like it kind of sounds like a horse galloping. It's kind of like this country punk mix. It's definitely not my thing. I guess if after A Fever You Can't Sweat Out they got a whole lot of gigs at like hoedowns and square dances, then this would be a good look for them. You know, pre-chorus and chorus I found to be a bit cheesy. Again, we're taking that like bubbly thing from the last song, and it's the greatest thing that had to have happened. Like I don't know. I'll give it that it has a good guitar solo section, but I think that's the only thing I'm giving it.
You're Mr. Bubblegum Pop Punk, and you're telling me this is too poppy.
It just doesn't sound right. No, it's like country pop. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
I don't love country either. And by the way, Pas de Cheval, or however you want to say it, it's cheval. A ballet step resembling the pawing of a horse. So what's the pawing of a horse?
Is that like if a horse gives you the paw kind of thing? Is it? But that's usually called a hoof, right?
The horse doesn't give you. The horse does not give you its paw.
It doesn't.
No.
I don't know much about.
When have you ever asked for a horse's paw?
It might kick you. Don't they do that though when they're doing their, like thing, and they pick up their.
It's like they pick up their hoof,
yeah,
and they like kind of scratch the ground a little bit, I guess, or they pick up their I guess that's what it is. I don't know. That does go with the gallopy nature of the song, doesn't it? Though it kind of feels that way. Very clever, guys. Very clever. I like that. Very clever. I don't like this song though. I'm with you. I think that.
Woohoo!
I think it has honestly like
That's your hate out, child.
It has a good start, a great verse. I think the verse is my personal favorite part of it, but man, that chorus is pretty poor. I can't get away from that. I think it just wrecks the song completely. So that ruined it for me. The solo tune, you had said it. It sounds good, but it's not amazing. So I just think if they would have done something to fix that chorus, I would have been into this one, even though I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of country. Actually, I hate it. I don't usually say that, but I don't like country at all. But something about this was fairly charming. It just wasn't a total package. So I'm going to say this was not my favorite either.
All right. Got a lot of not favorites. How about, does the piano know something that you don't?
Yeah, I think so. I can see myself loving this one a lot.
On drugs.
No. I think so. That first part into the actual song, so you start the song off with this kind of stripped down version of a lyric and melody, and then it transitions into what the actual song is. I do love that transition. Like that's a really cool way to kind of change things, that change the trajectory of the song itself. So I think that was great. The lyrics are confusing. They're very confusing. I don't really understand what they're talking about here. I'd like to know, maybe Steve, if you have any idea why he's letting us know that he just won't cut his beard and he won't change the hair, right? It grows like fancy flowers, but it goes nowhere. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know. Like
It's pretty odd.
I can't get into it, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it. It's like words are basically strewn about in this song for no reason. There's just even this one part where just out of nowhere he just says ballet. It just there's no context. It just says ballet. So good for you for just doing that and not making it be that big of a deal to Chris 183 that you're doing it. This one has bells in it too. I don't know if you heard that. Like it's like bells that you would hear in the town that Ebenezer Scrooge lives in, like on Christmas morning, like those bells. Did you hear those bells, Steve? They're in the song.
I maybe I missed them.
Like the big bells where you have to pull the rope and the
Right,
bell
right,
goes
right.
back and forth, kind of
Like
like
in
the
a
Liberty
in a
Bell
bell tower.
and the bell tower. Yeah. It ends the same way that it started with that stripped down, just kind of subdued way, kind of weird, kind of creepy, showy. So it's like a creepy show tune, we'll call it. I say all these things, but I really liked it. I really liked all of that stuff. It melded well together. I didn't care about the nonsensical lyrics, and the music was really creative and neat. So I again not a playlist song, but definitely a song that I could get into more and more the more I listen to it.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't think that you actually like this song.
I
This
do, I
I don't
do.
I do not believe you. This reminds me of like something that could be like an intermission track, but for some reason it goes on to be like a full track. I don't know. Again, I keep comparing it to the first album because it was so good. The first album had all these weird things, but they just worked. On this one, it just doesn't. These weird things just don't work. The middle of the song, I don't even know how to categorize it, to be honest. And the thing that the piano knows that he doesn't is that this album sucks. Like it blows.
Why?
And
Why do
it's
you?
got this
Why are?
weird, slow delivery. It's not even a song.
So
Why
you're
is
not a
this a
fan.
song? That's
You,
the Chris quote.
you're not a fan of creativity, is what you're saying.
It has to sound good. It has to be pleasing to the ears. It has to be fun. Make it good. Plenty of bands got creative and did different things. Look at Brand New from album 1 to album 2.
Yeah, and you hated
Totally
that
different.
album. You
Nope.
hated that album from the get go.
On first listen, but I gave it
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 listens and I was into it because it's good. I've now
Okay,
given
well,
this more than 2, 3, 4 listens. No bueno.
it's different. I think it's probably takes more than that. This is just that eclectic. It's that different. Like at least brand new. Like that album doesn't go incredibly off brand. Like this goes
Daisy went
pretty
off
far off
brand.
brand. Yeah, and you just like that one too.
I came around to it though. I gave it another try.
You listened to that for weeks before you came around to it.
I listened to it for weeks and I enjoyed it.
Okay, talk to me again on this one after you listen to this one for full weeks in a row.
I would never. I would
Mm.
never. I listened
That's
to
okay.
it many times for this.
Listen, you don't have to like everything. I tend to find myself in your shoes, or you find yourself in my shoes during this show on many occasions. It feels good. I know it does. The power just surges through you, Steve, and I can tell how much fun you're having with it. So continue on with that.
I'll continue on with Behind the Sea. Basically, a wannabe Beatles song, like on all counts. Like I don't think that you could even deny that they're trying to kind of sound like the Beatles. And I don't know, it just didn't have a fit on the album for me. Ryan Ross, the bassist, is on vocals for a lot of this. It's kind of like a sea shanty. So we've got kid songs, we've got sea shanties. We're talking about waves of wooden legs. Like if I could categorize this song in one emoji, It would be the hand with the palm on the face. Like what 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 is it? I don't know.
You know, the thing that really stands out to me in this song is the fact that it's a different song in that last minute. It changes up completely. Like you feel like you're at a certain point, and then it's just like, oh no, like here's something completely new. And I actually really like that part of the song. I love that last minute of it. I thought that that sound, that melody, and that last minute was better than the rest of the song combined. So yes, you're right. It is very Beatles esque. As self-professed, I wasn't a big fan of everything the Beatles did. I know that's just unheard of for a lot of people, but I don't care. Just again, not my thing. However, I tried to look beyond that, but this song had clapping, which knocks it down a couple pegs, like 1,500 pegs.
No claps. No clapping allowed.
It takes all the pegs out and puts them on the floor, so
Does
there's
it
no
take
pegs left.
How about the wooden legs? Does it take those out?
Yeah, because they would be pegs that you could use. So it
peg leg?
removes everything that you could potentially use for pegs and puts them into a big fire pit, burns them, takes the ashes, throws them into the river, and then drains the river.
Let's do that with this album too.
That's it. I actually felt pretty good about the tune to a certain point. A little bit of a marchy beat to it, but not enough. Not my favorite.
Please tell me you liked Folkin' Around.
I am not ready for that segue.
I don't like Folkin' Around. Actually, I don't need a Panic at the Disco country or a folk song. I listen to this and I picture Brandon Urie with like a big straw hat and like a reed hanging out of his mouth. And there's like a tractor somewhere on the background. He's on this big farm. And it's just something that I don't need to listen to because it's not good.
Yeah. Is it a reed or is it like a hay? Like, do they chew on hay?
It could be hay.
What is that thing that they chew on? It's hay, isn't it?
It could be hay. I think isn't a reed kind of like a dried out or a pale colored leaf, something like that.
No, that's something you put in your clarinet.
That's a different type of reed. There's a reed that's like a plant as well. Maybe it's just a piece of hay. He could chew on whatever he wants.
Some people chewed on their reed from their clarinet. I saw that.
I don't like to talk about reeds.
I know you don't.
It gives me the willies.
It gives me the willies too. It gives me the shivers.
You played the trumpet though. You didn't have to put it in your mouth. Ugh.
Yeah, but I had all that spit all over my lap. Like that's gross too.
I would take that over the wood in my mouth.
That's something else. So yeah, I dug this one, guys. I did. I'm serious.
No way.
I really did.
This is some shtick.
This is not shtick.
No way.
I'm totally being honest with you. You know that I would not hold back. Are you kidding me? I mean, look, this isn't my favorite song of all time, but I thought it was fine. I thought, this the country-esque sound. Again, I said it before. I didn't mind Brandon's voice against it. So I think they just did it better this one versus what was it other track that we didn't really like? It was Past the Cheval. So that was a little gallopy. This one, I thought it worked great. I thought that it was just fine up against that sound, the sound of the theme.
But you said you hate country.
I do, but this isn't country. Like you think about, like I got friends in low place. Like that's country. Like this is a voice. This is a lyricist that is not a country lyricist singing over a melody that can be construed as a country, melody, which to me is okay. Like it doesn't go overboard with it. It's a light country sound with Brandon's voice. So that's passable for me. I don't go away from that. A lot of bands kind of do that. Some do it better than others. So again, I don't consider this great, but I had fun with it. Fun with this track.
Oh boy. Okay. I guess to each their own.
Yeah. Let's talk about this next. I'll start this one since I wasn't ready for the last one because my notes are out of order. I don't know why. I have them on loose papers this time instead of stapled together, so that's my bad. But she had the world. Did I get that one right?
Do you say She Had the World?
I did. Not We Are
Yes.
the World. She had the world. So, I mean, let's talk about what we're hearing. The track or the music that's behind everything here kind of sounds like, I don't know, maybe a music box that you've wound up and you're listening to has that kind of sound to it, or it sounds like the music that would be played if you were invited to a dinner with a bunch of vampires that were wearing powdered wigs and they were having a family dinner. This is the kind of music that I would think that they would have in the background during said dinner and into the evening when obviously you probably want to leave and go home before everything goes down. Steve, do you feel like you get that same feeling and that theme from what we're hearing here in the music?
I heard something different in my assessment of the music.
Okay, well, before you do that, I will go on record saying this song does rule. I have a note that says who ever uses this type of music in a song. So I don't think I've ever heard any other band use something like that in a song. And I love it. I got sucked into this. I think I'm getting sucked into all of these ballads, like all these panic ballads on this album for some reason. They all make sense to me. They all make sense in my head. And this is no different. The song's to me charming, creative, and it just envelops you. I was really into this one. So another good ballad.
I think you're pulling my leg. I think you're pulling everybody's leg here. The
I'm
music
not.
sounds like it's like a fairy tale like song. To me, it sounds like the introduction to a Shrek movie if Shrek was geared towards 2 year olds. Like there's a princess. Like I swear to God, you have to listen to the first 15 seconds of the song and then listen back to Chris saying how into it he is, and you'll be like, there's just no way. There's just no way. There's a princess trapped in a tower somewhere with this song in a background. And yes, there's definitely one of those little things that you wind up and there's a ballerina and it spins. Yeah, this one didn't do it for me. I
Maybe
did
I'm
not
wrong.
get
Maybe if it
taken
were
away.
vampires, they would be a little bit more in the way of organs versus what we heard. But I'm imagining like the head vampire takes the girl by the hand and like starts to do that waltz to this song, in the middle of the dance floor.
Maybe this is like a slow song that people are dancing to while like vampires are murdering people. I could see that.
Okay. Okay. I think we're all kind of talking about the same thing.
Well, you brought the vampires in, so I had to go with it.
Yeah, but in your fantasy world, like the girl in the tower, that's kind of the same idea, right? That could be in the same universe. I think we're on the same page. We're aligned
But I
here.
think it's not good. It's not really an enjoyable song to listen to.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
we're
know.
piling up these nonsense songs, which is what's making it a bad album.
Do you think that I just like nonsense songs sometimes?
I
And
kind of think you're just messing with me. So
I'm not.
yeah,
I'm being very serious here.
okay. I find it hard to believe.
I don't know why you find it hard to believe that I like something that's different. I've always been that type of individual that I don't necessarily love the norm all the time. I feel like that should have shown through in a lot of my opinions over the years.
Yeah, but I mean, I know the things that you like, and I don't know that there's ever been something quite like this. Maybe we're learning new things.
Yeah, look, I like weird things sometimes, and this is a very weird album. So why don't you go ahead and talk about this next one?
From a mountain in the middle of the cabins. So again, they're recreating that vaudeville kind of sound from Fever You Can't Sweat Out. But to me, they're redoing it and they're kind of taking the fun out of it. It was so much fun in that first album. The song just kind of sounds like it's playing at a saloon. Like this has to be playing in a Western saloon. and there are people playing poker, and eventually there's a fight, and guns break out, and then after that they go do that thing where they go back to back, and they take 10 paces and turn around and shoot one another.
Mhm.
I guess I would say that it's it's not as terrible to listen to as some of the other nonsense, but it could have been, for what they've done with the sound in the past, it could have been a lot better and a lot more fun.
What happens if one person like gets hit in the leg and the other one misses? Like, is the duel over?
I don't know what the official rules are. Yeah, I guess, does someone have to be killed? Yeah, I think that would be
I
duel
don't know.
over. The person who gets shot in the leg is lucky.
Because I mean, it's probably pretty hard to shoot somebody from that far away, right? And hit them.
Well, they're always very good marksmen in those movies.
But they're also using very, very archaic firearms too that aren't necessarily that accurate. So
Those little 6 shooters.
yeah, yeah. I don't get into this one. I see. I'm being real with you, and this kind of showed you that I don't think this is a great song at all. I think it's super boring and uninspired. So I don't even know if I pull as much out of it as you did. I like where you're going with the theme. It makes me feel good about it, but
Like that movie Maverick. You know that movie?
with Tom Cruise,
It's Mel Gibson.
you mean Top Gun?
No, that's Tom Cruise. I feel like we're in an episode of The Office right now, and you're being Jim.
Not being Jim.
You're being Jim. I'll be Dwight. That's fine.
I'll tell you what, the tuba. There's a tuba in this song. That makes me happy. Or does it? Maybe that's the reason I don't like this. Why did I put a tuba in a song? Who's doing the tubaing? Who's playing the tuba?
They're in their recording studio, and there's some guys like, "Oh, I play the tuba," and they're like, "All right, here, smoke on this pipe and play some tuba on our record."
You know how much room a tuba would take? Like if you were a tuba player for real? Like would you
It's
need to
it's a
have
big
multiple tubas?
it's a big instrument.
Yeah. I always felt bad for the tuba players that were in the marching bands because they had to carry that huge tuba. Probably have like super strong arms.
Yeah,
Like you
build
got
up
to go
some
to the
good
gym.
core strength.
Yeah, because that cannot be light to carry around. Cannot be light.
No way.
I don't think you can do very much with the tuba either. It only makes certain sounds. So you're just like, and that's it. Like that's all you can do.
I mean, so there's 3 buttons on it, so you can do as much as you could do with a trumpet. It's just a different pitch. You do a good tuba,
That's it. That's
but
the
again,
tuba.
there's different keys, there's different pitches.
I beg to differ.
Well, learn the tuba. Prove us wrong.
Stop being mad as rabbits.
Mad as rabbits.
I'll be short and sweet here. Short and sweet. Short and sweet. I did not like this one. This was bad. This was another bad one. This was not good. This wasn't even like this wasn't good anything. I didn't get into this. Like there's no melody, there's no really just anything unique about it. It's just a song. It sounds like a 2008 Jet song or like Wolf Mother or something like that. Like I couldn't get into this one. Not my thing.
I thought this one was close to a decent song. I think this is close.
Oh my God.
This is close to a decent song. It's not a great song.
Now
but
it's shtick. Now
they
you're
released
sticking
this
me.
as the second single, and this sounds kind of similar to like a single. I can't really pick it all apart. I think it's fine. The chorus, again, if there's a sing alongy chorus, I feel like you can get into it, which this one kind of does have. It's not great. It's fine. I didn't hate on it, but I didn't think it was super amazing or anything like that. And we're through the album. That was pretty odd.
Yeah, that look that was a lot of this is a long album too. So I feel even worse for you who really, really did not enjoy going through this. But that's the spirit of what we're doing this month. So hopefully you're able to make it through the rest of these.
It's kind of going to be tough because again, you mentioned that I picked the records, so they're ones that I know I don't like, and you brought up a good point. I didn't like Daisy at first. Deja Entendu didn't take a long time for me to come around on. Daisy did, but I was able, I turned it around, and so I guess that's part of the exercise here to see if it's possible to be turned around on these.
Yeah, and I think that, and I don't know about the rest of them, but I have to feel like that you didn't necessarily invest a ton of time into these albums, that you were turned off fairly quickly. Is that correct?
I mean, I give them a little bit of time, give them a couple of listens, but if they don't dig in, then you're not going to keep listening to them.
Yeah. Sometimes something has to click. You have to be in a certain. I always find like if I don't like a song that much or I don't click with it, but then I'm in an environment where it's a memorable environment and a memorable thing going on, and a song comes on, I then connect that song with that time that I feel really good in, and it makes the song better. So I've actually really gotten into some tracks that prior to that I wouldn't give a second listen to, but because of those experiences, it it dug its hooks into me, and it sounded different. So I'm not going to say like an entire album is going to fall into that category because that's ridiculous. Although maybe you're just somewhere that you really enjoy being, and someone puts this on, which I want to be there for that time when that happens. But I think overall, maybe a couple songs off of it could dig its claws into you outside of just Night in the Afternoon. But that said, let's go on to the next segment. And this is a really, really interesting and fun segment that all of you out there are probably very familiar with. And yes, I'm talking about ranking it, but this time we're going to do something a little bit different because it's Awful April. It's only appropriate that we do not do our top 3 favorite tracks, Steve. We're going to turn things around a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Awful April, we're going to do our top 3 least favorite songs off the album. I love this idea. This is something I've been waiting for. And even though I was a much bigger fan of this album than you, I think that the audience out there is dying to hear what your bottom 3 songs are on this album for as much as you disliked it. So, Steve, because I was so positive in comparison, I think it's only right that I go first this time, and then you wrap it up with yours. How do you like that?
Sure. Are you actually? Well, I'll save this question. Go ahead.
Okay. So let me take a look at these notes because I actually did make a couple thoughts. So I think that number 3 for me is Pas de Cheval. Not the dirt worst on the album, because I did say that it had a pretty cool verse to it. I just think that they destroyed it with that chorus. So definitely knocked it all the way down to the bottom 3 tracks. For me, I don't know, for number 2 worst is going to be, oh, this is super easy. Let me make sure I didn't have any other ones. Nope. So From a Mountain in the Middle of the Cabins, just a really uninspired song to me. Super boring. I didn't care. It's not because it's at the end of the album. It just felt like I didn't want to listen to it. So I'm usually a good judge of songs that just have nothing to them, and this is one of those. Even though it had the tuba, we had a good conversation about it. I still feel like it belongs in that second to last worst spot. And then the number 1 for me was, and we just got finished talking about it, Mad as Rabbits. I think this is just as boring, if not worse. I did not like it. No redeeming factors, no redeeming qualities. I was not into this one. This one is just an awful way to end this album, and it left a bad taste in my mouth, unfortunately. So, Steve.
Very interesting. So I couldn't limit it to 3. So I'm going to have to give an honorable mention to the fairy tale song. She Had the World. Not a fan, but not as bad as the third worst song, Behind the Sea, which is the wannabe Beatles sea shanty. Garbage. Number 2 is the I Have Friends in Holy Spaces, ukulele, trumpet, weird nonsense. And number 1 is their failed attempt at a country folk song, Folkin' Around is the one that I would listen to probably I mean, all of those, all four of those, I would not choose. I don't ask any of you out there to go back and listen to these. If you want to, you can, but I'm sorry.
I do.
And it's funny because we always talk about if we have different rankinits and they're good, that means it's a good album. We just named 7 songs, all different songs, and that's half of this record, which basically is the bottom tier of this record. So I think it's a bad album. And I wanted to ask you, you had said that you were more of a fan than me on this record, but I wanted to actually ask, you might be more of a fan than me, but are you actually a fan of this album? Would you recommend this album to anybody or choose to put it on?
I think I would want them to listen to their first album first, like have that as your basis. And then I would want them to listen to this one because it's not getting into that pop arena just quite yet, like the super poppy stuff. So if you're a big fan of what they started doing in that original album, I think that a lot of people are going to appreciate the eclectic nature of the direction they went in with the songs on this one. You have to be a fan of the sound of Panic at the Disco to be able to accept a lot of the different concepts that they put into play here. And you have to be open to that different direction too. If you want to hear more Panic at the Disco, first album stuff, this isn't going to be for you. You're going to be sadly disappointed. But if you're open to a new way to listen to this band in front of just completely different approaches to songs, yes, with a Beatle-esque overture and just some weird ways of approaching different melodies, then I think that you're going to be in good shape and you could actually appreciate this. I think it's definitely I don't say a work of art, but it's definitely a nice piece of art that they produced. So that's my thought.
It's a piece of art where like a lot of the people look at it and be like, gross. That's weird. Not good.
It's not what I said, but
I'm just giving an alternate opinion.
you're entitled to your opinions. And I think that it probably goes without saying, but did this listen change your opinion about this album, Steve?
No, it did not. I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, and 9 in the Afternoon is a great song, and there's a couple other songs that are decent. I liked That Green Gentleman. I didn't dislike Mad as Rabbits, but I think maybe there's only one or two other ones that were even like listenable. So I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, but no, my initial assessment in 2008, in my opinion, holds true. This album's awful.
Yeah, so I mean, it's funny because you chose these, and I wasn't necessarily the one that disliked them. From my perspective, I'm coming into this month with the preconceived notion that these are bad albums. So I'm already going into it with that thought because I trust your opinion in a lot of ways when it comes to music. So I'm expecting to hear garbage when I turn these on based on that preconception. However, I think as you kind of have seen, I've been able to embrace a lot of the things that they've done differently here. And I completely, went the other direction. And I was thinking about that the entire time I was writing my notes and thinking about, my experience through this album. And that it would definitely shock you, Steve, to hear that I was as into it as I was. And honestly, as I first started getting into this, the first couple songs, actually the intro, and then beyond 9 in the Afternoon, I wasn't sure what to say. I wasn't sure what to think, but after a couple listens, I think I got to the opinion that I got to. So I don't know. I think that kind of is the long and short of it, in that it definitely was a unique experience for me that ended up erring on the side of positive with what the end product was. So, that's kind of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. There's always a surprise out there. High school never ends.
And I'm really curious about what other you think out there. I mean, if you want to chime in on your thoughts for this album, please do that. We love to hear from you on our Discord. or any of the other socials, let us know, because, obviously our opinions were very polarizing back and forth. You don't have to agree with one or the other. I think that you will agree with me, but
Probably
that's
not.
just my opinion. If you don't, then I will definitely debate you on that, but I think that's part of the fun. So with that said, what a great start. What a great, I don't want to say a start, but what a great choice though, Steve. I think it's always fun whenever we have an album that we see that differently. It just leads to some great conversations. So thank you for the choice.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Even though I did not, I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, and as I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed it too out there. High school never ends. We aim to please, but we one thing we really like is interaction. So me and Steve get to talk to each other about these songs, these bands, these albums, especially during such an awesome month. That's actually maybe not so awesome, right? Awful April.
Awful month.
Maybe I got to get used to saying it, but we really, 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 especially this month, want to know what you think. So because we're going into it with these, with the theme that these are going to be awful, it's probably even more important that you guys join in the conversation. So everybody that's out there that enjoys this show, even if you listen to it for the first time, we have a Discord. We want you in there. We want to know what you think straight to us, because we are in there too. So come on and join our Discord. If that's not your thing, talk to us on Facebook, Instagram, X, whatever, right? We want that interaction. We want to hear from you. And if you want to get to all of the links that get you to the social media for High School Never Ends, just go to our website. It's super simple. It's www.hsnepod.com. That's our hub. And that will show you how to get to all of those great social media outlets.
Yep, it'll also take you over to our shop. So get a High School Never Ends hat, get a hoodie, get a mug, get a t-shirt. Got all sorts of cool stuff that helps support the show. Another way you can help support the show is by giving us a 5-star rating on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts and writing a nice review, even though we talked about something that may or may not be awful. Give us a review. Let us know that you found us fun. And we got more awful stuff coming up. It kind of feels weird to say that because we have fun stuff, but it's going to be awful next week. You better tune in. Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk. That's not awful.
Hi, I'm Jake Lloyd Bacon, and I am a lifelong pro wrestling fan.
And I'm Alexandra Hoy, a new fan of pro wrestling who was surprised to fall in love with it. It's much more creative than I ever gave it credit for.
Yeah, people sleep on pro wrestling, but it's so much more than most people think it is.
It's theatrics, athleticism, comedy, and decades worth of larger-than-life characters that I have to catch up on.
So what better crash course in wrestling history than WWE's iconic Royal Rumble match?
Every year, 30 wrestlers compete in one massive match, and we're watching all of them.
We pick a year at random out of our jar o' rumbles and watch it in real time right alongside you in our enlightening podcast, Me, You, and 30 Other Men.
So join us at meyouand30.com or wherever you podcast.
It's Dragon Wagon.